There's a position so small it takes up less than a square inch of your mouth. And when you hold it correctly while you sleep, researchers have measured changes in oxygen saturation, jaw tension, and morning cortisol that they genuinely cannot attribute to anything else. Scientists scanned it, they documented the results, they published the data, and then they wrote, in peer-reviewed language, that the mechanism remains not fully understood. A position your tongue has been capable of since the day you were born. Tonight, you're going to learn it, and you're probably never going to sleep the same way again. Your tongue isn't just a muscle for eating and talking. It's a postural anchor, a structural pillar, an airway regulator that works 24 hours a day, even when you're unconscious. And for most of human history, people used it correctly without ever being taught, because the way they ate, chewed, and breathed trained it automatically into the right position from birth. But here's what happened. Soft food, bottles, chronic mouth breathing, and forward head posture over decades of screen time pulled the tongue down and forward, away from the palate, away from its natural resting place. And now, every night, millions of people lie down with their tongue drooping toward the floor of their mouth, partially collapsing their own airway, straining their jaw joints, triggering micro-arousals they never remember but feel in the morning as bone-deep exhaustion, a foggy mind, and a neck that won't stop aching. Your tongue wasn't built for that position. It's built for the roof, and ancient traditions knew this long before sleep medicine existed. The Maori of New Zealand called it the root posture, the foundation position from which breath, voice, and vitality flow. Ayurvedic texts dating back over 3,000 years described specific tongue placements as part of Kachari Mudra, a practice reserved for advanced practitioners seeking to regulate prana, their word for the life-sustaining current that moves through the body with every breath. These weren't mystical metaphors. They were functional instructions for keeping the airway open, the jaw stable, and the nervous system anchored in calm. Here's what happens inside your body when the tongue drops at night. The muscles of the soft palate lose their primary support structure. The throat narrows. Airflow becomes turbulent. That's what snoring is, turbulence. And your brain, registering the oxygen dip, pulls you out of deep sleep dozens of times per hour without ever waking you fully. Your cortisol spikes. Your growth hormone release, which peaks in deep slow-wave sleep, gets interrupted. Your lymphatic system, which clears metabolic waste from the brain during sleep, can't complete its cycle. You wake up tired because biologically you never fully rested. Now here's what happens when the tongue presses gently against the palate. It creates a physical brace. The soft palate tightens naturally. The airway stays open without effort. The jaw closes into neutral alignment, taking pressure off the temporomandibular joint, that hinge most people are quietly destroying night after night. The breath slows. The vagus nerve, your body's primary rest and digest highway, reads this structural stability as a signal of safety, and your nervous system drops into the parasympathetic state that allows genuine, restorative sleep. Modern research confirms this. A 2021 study out of the University of Sao Paulo found that myofunctional therapy, targeted tongue and throat muscle retraining, reduced the severity of obstructive sleep apnea by 39% in adults and by 62% in children. Participants weren't given medications. They weren't fitted with devices. They were taught to reposition the tongue. A separate research group at Stanford's Sleep Medicine Center noted that tongue posture consistently appeared as an overlooked variable in cases of unexplained sleep fragmentation. Patients who didn't fit the standard apnea profile but couldn't sleep deeply. Researchers described the tongue as the forgotten airway muscle. Ancient yogis just called it home. You can feel this immediately. Right now, let your tongue rest flat on the floor of your mouth, teeth slightly apart. Notice the subtle tension in your throat, the sense of openness gone slightly wrong. Now bring the entire tongue, not just the tip, the whole body of the tongue, up to press gently and evenly against the roof of your mouth. Feel how the jaw settles. Feel how the throat opens. That sensation of quiet structural support. Your body calls that correct. This technique is called mula jihva, the root tongue, and it takes about 4 seconds to learn and a lifetime to master as a resting habit. Start here. Sit comfortably with your mouth gently closed, teeth barely touching or slightly apart. Bring the tip of your tongue to the small ridge just behind your upper front teeth. That bony bump is called the incisive papilla. That is your landmark. Now spread the tongue backward so the middle and back of the tongue press lightly against the palate. Not forcefully. Think suction, not pressure, like the tongue is resting in a hammock against the roof of the mouth. Hold for 30 seconds. Release. Repeat 3 times. Notice how your neck relaxes when you hold this. That's the musculoskeletal chain responding. For intermediate practice, hold the position while breathing slowly through the nose for 3 full minutes before sleep. Inhale for 4 counts. Exhale for 6. The extended exhale activates the vagus nerve. The tongue position keeps the airway stable. Together, they create a physiological entry point into deep sleep that no supplement has consistently replicated. Common mistake at this stage: the tongue creeps forward and only the tip stays up. Check yourself. The whole tongue needs to rise. For advanced practice, work toward maintaining this position unconsciously throughout the night. You'll know you're progressing when you wake and your tongue is still at the palate. This takes most people 3 to 6 weeks of conscious nightly practice. Mastery marker: when you stop snoring, when jaw soreness disappears, when you wake without that groggy 20-minute lag. Those aren't coincidences. That's structural alignment doing its quiet work. Beginners, practice this consciously for 5 minutes before sleep each night for the first week. After that, 2 or 3 nights of conscious checking is enough. Within 30 days, most people report the position becoming automatic. First session, you'll notice immediate jaw softening and a surprising sense of calm. That's the vagal response. After 3 days, morning grogginess may lighten noticeably. After 7 days, if you share a bed, your partner may mention the snoring has changed or stopped. After 30 days, the shape of your sleep will be different, deeper, more continuous, more real. One safety note: if you have a history of TMJ disorders or significant jaw pain, introduce this practice slowly and gently. The goal is zero force, and if your sleep issues are severe, always work alongside a healthcare provider. This practice complements medical care. It doesn't replace it. This isn't a sleep hack. It's a structural correction that the modern world accidentally untaught you in childhood. Sleep medicine tells you the problem is your brain, your stress, your hormones. Ancient movement traditions tell you to start with the foundation. The position of the tongue determines the position of the jaw. The jaw determines the airway. The airway determines the depth of sleep. The depth of sleep determines everything else: your mood, your metabolism, your memory, your capacity to heal. For thousands of years, humans chewed hard foods, breathed through the nose, and naturally maintained this tongue posture from infancy. We didn't need sleep clinics because we had structural integrity built into our daily lives. Tonight, you can give your body part of that back. Press the tongue to the palate. Breathe through the nose. Let the jaw close softly. And let your nervous system remember what safety feels like at 2 a.m. You just learned what Ayurvedic masters and Maori elders considered foundational knowledge, not as mysticism, but as anatomy. The tongue as anchor, the breath as signal, the body as a system that still knows how to heal if you give it the right conditions. Deeper sleep isn't the goal, it's the side effect. The goal is returning your body to the structural truth it was designed around. Tonight, find the ridge. Tomorrow, notice the difference. In 7 days, tell me I was wrong. And if this found you at exactly the right moment, you already know what to do. As always, keep breathing.